Hey, what up, guys? Here, Jon, LinksWell Together podcast. It's episode 39. Sorry we missed a week, but we're back. What do you say we get cracking? All right, guys, that's right. Sorry, I promised you I wouldn't miss, and then we missed a week, but I want to blame everybody but myself, Vic. You good with that?
Yeah, I'll take the blame. It's okay.
It's totally not your fault. We had some dealers scheduled, and then things just didn't pan out. We are actually in DEF CON. I don't know, what's the highest DEF CON? Is there a high DEF CON? I'm like thinking like a movie, like DEF CON 4. Is that DEF CON 4? So we're like in DEF CON right now, trying to finalize the last little bits to get this GM radio shipping. Like we've got like 80 units sitting here. We have these last little tidbit things that we're trying to get knocked out. So it is literally like DEF CON around here. Everybody is like, oh my gosh, like we're working into the night, early in the morning, trying to get these last little bit things done. So last week was, just what it was.
We did do our install training video, though, on that Yukon Suburban. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you check that out.
Yeah, you do want to check that out. We did record that, posted that on Friday, I think.
It's already out, yeah.
Yeah. So that one came out pretty good. That's a good looking deck in there, though.
Trust me. Man, it flows so nice with that center console.
Yeah, because the console just keeps going. And it definitely looks like it belongs
2015
in there,
to 2020 GMC Yukon, and that includes the Denali, the XL, and then obviously Chevy Suburban of the same years, 2015 to 2020.
Tahoe, yep.
15.6.
Yeah, looks good in there. Only downside is losing the factory rear. But we had this conversation before. Like, it's really not that big of a deal.
No. Yeah, and I mentioned it in the install. Man, this is when you upgrade the rear seat entertainment.
Because you can do the hotspot.
To smart monitors. Because now you can give people, YouTube, Netflix, their own independent content, because your new radio has a SIM card in it, which uses a cellular network, and it tethers Wi-Fi hotspot to your smart monitors. Man.
Yeah, total game changer. But we're back.
We are.
It's technically Wednesday. You guys will see this on Monday. Even I was gone yesterday. I'll be gone a little bit tomorrow. Might even be gone a little bit Friday. Walt's at jury duty. Man, this has been just a busy season out here.
I'm telling you, man.
At LinksWell. But we got our technical difficulties out of the way, hopefully.
Yes.
And we have a guest. So why don't you tell us a bit about the guest? Because you actually set this guest up for us.
Well, we have a special guest.
Heck yeah.
And it's because, there's very few female leaders in the industry. And my hat's off to her, because she runs a tight ship. And I've seen her shop, because I've seen a lot of her content.
Okay.
And I'm like, man. But you know what? I'll let you guys hear it from her.
All right.
I didn't know she was a dealer of ours until maybe a year or two that I saw her at our SEMA booth. I was in the Chevy just playing with the radio, and she's standing there looking at our radios. And I'm like, I'm here. She's there. I might as well just get off the truck and go greet.
Talk to somebody.
Yeah. Make this time go by faster, right?
Yeah,
so I went and I said, hey, are you familiar with the product? She's like, I'm actually a dealer. And I said, what? And I said, let's talk.
Yeah.
So guys, help me welcome the awesome Chelsea from Crush Customs, you guys.
Hi guys, and Victor.
Hey.
I should have corrected you. It's actually Chelsea.
Oh, there you go, Chelsea. There you go. Okay.
Take it up with my mother. She wanted to be a little extra, so thanks, Sylvia.
Thank you.
I'm not mad at that. So
there you go.
So my funny story. My second daughter, her name's Isabella. And when my wife was pregnant, she's now 21, so it's a while ago. But we had this whole debate on how she wanted to spell the name, because my wife's Mexican, so she wanted to do the 1L, like the Spanish side, and I'm white as white can be, and so I'm like, no, Isabella has 2 L's in it, right? Like that's how you spell the name. And so we had this whole fight back and forth until dang near had the baby, and then we actually made a blood pact that if the next kid was a boy, I could have a junior, because I wanted a junior, and she's like, I hate your middle name, Jon, and I'm like, I don't care, I want a junior. So we made a blood pact. So I got my junior, which was a fight. That's a whole nother story. But my daughter has 1L, right? And she is adamant. Like when she was younger, my daughter is a very black and white. She's a sweetheart, incredibly talented and smart, but she's kind of black and white. And so like when somebody would misspell her name, it would really bother her. She's like, wow, it's 1L, guys. It's 1L. And then she would get mad because she could never find a keychain when she was a kid. Because every keychain that says Isabella or Bella always had 2 L's. Yeah. Nice. So every night, if we found
a lot
anything,
of times I don't correct people when they say Chelsea, but because I figure, hey, there's a lot worse things that can be called. So
that's true.
I just kind of go with the punches. But I'd hate for you, Victor, to go back and go, why didn't you correct me? So there you go.
That's true. We appreciate that.
This video is gonna be public. So this is not just an introduction to you. It is a public service announcement.
Yeah.
There you
go. Chelsea.
Yes.
So Chelsea, tell us about you guys. I mean, I know you guys are in Marietta, in Georgia. So if you folks are in the area, make sure you check them out. I mean, if you're in business today, as far as automotive, electronics, and anything automotive goes, it's like you have to be a specialist in your field. You can't just, hack it anymore the way most of us did in the 90s. It's completely different now.
It is a very different world.
And the fact that you're in business for yourself, right? You're the leader in your group, and I admire that, by the way.
Thank you.
Tell us, what you guys specialize in and what you guys do.
So we started out. Well, I have to take you back. I've been in the industry for 23 years, and I grew up in the automotive aftermarket business. My parents were pioneers in this field and started a business doing whitewashing tires and pinstriping. That's what they started out with, right? In 79. And it progressed from there, as you know, with more products being available for aftermarket. They just grew and grew and grew. And so when I came on the scene, as far as like with the family business, it was 2001, and I had just had twin daughters. And I wanted to be flexible with my schedule because I needed to be flexible with my schedule. And so that's when I came to work with the family business and started wood grain dashes. That's how I started.
Okay. Wow.
Wood grain dashes. And I was gold plating. Those are the two services that I started out with. And it's just so interesting, and this is such a testament to LinksWell and to just the industry period, is how much that the industry changes over the years, right? It's like I started out with gold plating wood grain. I don't even do that at all anymore. It's like nobody's asking for wood grain dashes. I don't know if they were then either, but they were buying them. They were buying what I was selling. So, so started off that way. 2009, I came to Atlanta. And I wanted to come to a bigger city where there was more opportunity. I left Savannah, came to Atlanta, and then started. Well, I was still doing wood grain dash. I was doing chrome trim and grills, stuff like that, of spoilers, body kits. I was doing all the installs myself. And I did that for a few years and then got my first brick and mortar in 2013. We started doing dealer services with leather, electronics, sunroofs. And because my theory was I wanted to offer the dealership something they actually needed to make a deal. Very rarely you need a wood grain package to make a car deal. So I figured, okay, well, I need them to need me. So let's start doing some of these services that they need to actually close a deal. And so that's when we started offering everything and really becoming a full circle restyler. So leather, 12 volt, sunroofs, wraps, wheel repair, some minor paint, P&D, PDR. And I don't know, I may be forgetting something. We also do custom upholstery. So not only do we do like CAT scan, Aaliyah, those kits, pre-pattern kits, but we also have a whole custom department. So we're actually able to hand stitch things. We do steering wheels, we do dash kits, things like that. But a lot of we're about 50-50 now with dealer services and retail. We didn't start doing retail until like 2020.
Okay.
So we were strictly wholesale. We didn't do any advertising for retail. It was just kind of word of mouth. A dealer would send us somebody by referral. But in 2020, I started kind of seeing like, okay, I didn't know what was going to happen during COVID. I thought, it was going to be 2009 all over again, which, 2008, 2009, I lived through the housing crisis while I was starting a new business here in Atlanta from scratch. So I was really afraid of what that was going to do to our dealers. So I just started really hitting the ground with social media and just being a dog and getting up every morning at the crack of dawn and posting and telling stories. And because they say, the biggest hurdle in our industry with aftermarket is a lot of customers don't know we exist. So especially with me on the dealer side, people buy cars, but they don't know that they can ask to customize that vehicle, or if it doesn't have a feature, say it doesn't have Apple CarPlay. Sometimes, and dealers, even dealers, not just retail, but dealers may lose out on a sale because a customer walked out of there not knowing that they could put an Apple CarPlay in that vehicle, or F-150, 2019 F-150 that doesn't have the big screen that the new F-150s have. Okay, well, our dealers or our retail customers often don't know that, we can upgrade that screen. Don't lose a deal over it. So anyway, those are things that we try to preach with the dealers. And I just wanted to educate people on the retail side what we could do. And that's what we started doing. We really started just honing in on that because it was free, right? Social media is free. It just takes a little bit of creativity and ingenuity and knowing how to connect to people. So that's what we did. And now we've been really operating a lot in the retail space. Like I said, we're about 50-50 retail and wholesale now. That's
crazy. I was going to ask you how starting retail side in COVID went, but you kind of shared all that.
We were busting at the seams because people weren't spending money on vacations. They weren't spending money on going out to eat, the small luxuries that we typically spend our money on, and people were spending it on their cars. And nobody could have predicted what it did with the car industry, that actually people were buying. So people were running out of inventory, and it was kind of like a slope for us because dealers, because they were gouging these customers. Sorry guys, but that's what they were doing.
They were,
they didn't have as much need for us, the aftermarket. And so it's kind of like they didn't have inventory, and they didn't necessarily feel like they had to do anything extra to make sales. So for that reason, our business slumped, but we made up for what our lost sales were in retail for sure.
Yeah, you shift. Yeah, so I started working for a shop in 98, 99, and we were probably 75 dealer, 25 retail. We had, 18 trucks that went out, and we had 3 guys in the shop doing retail stuff. So I can remember the heydays of financing all sorts of stuff, man. Like I remember there was a married couple that used to come out and do the gold packages. They would come out there with their little electronic thingy, and they would turn these badges from silver to gold. They used to trip me out. I'm like, I don't know what you guys are doing, man.
I did that.
Like, that's magic, man. That's like chemistry magic. Yeah.
It is. It is. You have to strip the chrome, and then you nickel plate it, and then you gold plate it. It's a 3-step process. Yeah.
I remember watching them, and that just water stuff. But I can remember in the early 2000s, like a new car with the little pink purchase order that would end up at the service department. Like there was often like 4 or 5 vendors worth of stuff on there: wheels, tires, exhaust, lights, so. And then I think it was like towards like that 2008, 2009 is when everything crashed and banks quit loaning money for extra stuff. It did shift. It shifted that dealer market a lot because it did change kind of what they were, and styles always change. Because I can't remember the last time I saw someone gold plating something, but I can tell you
it's definitely a thing in certain areas of the car culture. The don't culture, gold is huge. I mean, there's still a market for it. It's just not, you don't see it as often. I mean, I don't know how many Cadillac Escalades I gold plated over my, the years that I was in, but it was a bunch.
Yeah.
The Chrysler 300s all day long, those were money cars. Yeah.
But the market, that's what the 12 volt market does, though. It's like a constant like shift and pulse. And so oddly enough, LinksWell exploded during COVID. For that same thing, like people just they were spending money on their cars, and so our product is so flashy. People don't tend to go into a stereo shop looking for something as huge and over the top as our stuff. But during COVID, I think people just needed something flashy. They were like all pent up. Like I can't go have my drinks at the bar. I can't go here. I can't go there. I need something flashy. And we did, man. We had a heck of a time keeping up with everything. Like our factory was trying to do things because China locked everything down. So trying to get our factory to be able to work things like they had regulations in China where one office. So like if an office had, say, normally 10 people working in it, they made it so only one person per office. So like that's why everything slowed down in production, was because if you had a room where normally you had 15 or 20 people making things, they only let one person. So that cut your productivity down by 20th, right? You were doing 1/20th of what you were. And so we had a heck of a time, but we did come out on top, and we came out, and same thing. We leaned into social media. Like, I mean, the whole podcast, this is Vic and I trying to think outside the box. Like you said, like,
that's great.
Being in this industry and having been in this industry like you for a really long time, new brands are hard to be accepted. Like most of the time when a new brand pops up, unless it's something completely different, a new brand popping up, making something that somebody else is already making, it's really hard to get your product into a shop, because they're just, I mean, especially when you do dealer work, right? You upset one dealer, you didn't just lose one customer, you lost 10 or 15 a month, depending on the dealer. I can remember dealers that I would do 4 or 5 jobs a day at. So for us, it's not
fun. It's not fun trying out a new electronic product.
No, it is not 100%.
I have this Lexus GS 350 that I bought that nobody makes a radio for. And I bought the only radio available for that. And every day I get in there and it's something different. I'm like, oh my God, I feel my customers' pain. Now I know what they go through when something's not working right. But it is from a shop's perspective, it's like, because it's an investment for us too. When things don't go right, it's like, okay, I got to pay an installer to take it out and replace it. And, it's very frustrating trying out new products. We try to stay away from them, we really do. Yeah.
And we know that. And like Vic and I have been in this industry way too long. So like we know that process. And so we have really tried a lot of stuff. I think we talk about this all the time, but how we are trying really hard to be different than most manufacturers when it comes to how we market ourselves and how we provide support for our dealers, because we understand the fear it is to bring in something new, especially when we're not, one of the top 5-6 brands that, have been doing this for 40, 50 years. Like we know the apprehension, and we also know like anything high tech comes with high tech problems. Like that's pretty much what it boils down to. The more something can do, the more things that can go wrong with it. Right.
100%.
Like, look at cars nowadays. Like, my wife we just bought her a 2024 Accord, and every time we've gone in there's been an update for something because something's not working right. Like we're just at that point now. I mean, where technology is so fast.
Exactly. They're rolling software, these cars. I mean, I've had whole car. I had an instance where I had a car, there was no power in the car whatsoever because of one plug. And it's just, it presents new and exciting opportunities.
It's challenges.
That's such a way to put it. New and exciting opportunities. Yeah. Yes. So
but
we
you guys
know
have been
that.
great. You guys have been great.
Good.
Victor helped me this morning. I had an issue, and we called Victor, and he got on it. And within 15 minutes, I heard sound coming from the back. So I was like, all right, we're in there. But yeah, I mean, that's been amazing, because it is so frustrating for my techs when they're wasting time installing a product and having to sit on the phone with tech support for hours at a time. They're losing money. The shop is losing money. It's just, it's super frustrating. And sometimes, language barriers when you're dealing with, especially new electronic products. So it's really, really comforting to have you guys like there and the support. So good job.
But you know what? Yeah. It all has a beginning, right? I think that I'm a firm believer of there comes a point in time in your life that everything that you've been preparing for matters. And so when you and I talked initially, our first time at SEMA, like, I understood your frustration, because I get it. It's a great concept, big screen. It's cool, all the features and functions. But she was open about, like, every time we do one of these, it's always something. And she really couldn't tell me what it was. But I did ask her, like, what is it? Do you remember what it was? And so that's when your industry experience kicks in, because I know that if I said, hey, Chelsea, listen, I'll give you my personal contact information if it helps you. If you need to put your installers on the phone with us and we could do a training, then so be it, because 9.9 out of 10 times it's just an update. It's the settings.
Yeah.
Maybe the wrong harness at the very extent, or at the very worst case scenario, something's wrong with the radio, but let's get over that.
Yeah.
Let's not bathe in what the problem is, and let's get fixed. Let's get you going. So I know what that does to someone like Chelsea, who's got her own shop, is running a tight ship, has all these different things to deal with. For her to have someone on the other side of the coin to sort of take that burden off of her and say, let's get your installers up and running. I believe that it makes a huge difference. Because again, I mean, we've been there. We've been at the shops. We've been in the retail side. We've both worked at stereo stores, and I've done a huge amount of working with other manufacturers too. So I think, again, that's where it helps that we've both been in the industry for so long and we understand that side of the market.
100%.
No, totally.
When I left SEMA and I had Victor's number in my phone, I was like, all right, we got a contact. We're good to go. And, that it does mean so much. I mean, we develop relationships in this industry. It's a relationship industry on the vendor side, on 100%. On the wholesale side, on the retail side. And everybody wants to have someone that they can go to, their go-to guy. So it was just really comforting to know that we had that support, and we've done a lot better with our confidence level since then. So
well, that's good to hear. Good to hear. We do, like, we do. We know what it is to be on the other side. So we genuinely try to think outside the box, and podcasts, YouTube, all that stuff, as well as text messages and doing social media and stuff. So that's super. It's an encouraging thing. I'm sure I'm sure Vic will pass along to some of the other guys, because the other guys, we like to encourage our techs.
Yeah,
it's a hard position. Tech support's a hard position, because 9 times out of 10 someone's calling at you and they're pissed.
I know.
So you just catch heat straight away. And we've got one. We got to get Micah in here one day, because this kid, like, he's like the biggest puppy. Like, you could punch him in the face and he'd still smile at you. Like, he's just, he's like the most like he like bounces when he walks. He's so but so the special guys to be able to take a phone call with somebody that's angry and then
turn around and fix it. I wouldn't want that job. It's
and just for a grand picture of the company, like no position, no department. That's what I'm looking for. No department in LinksWell has the freedom to say not it. Like there is, if something goes, like if we have an issue, so like Vic says, so like usually it's a setting issue or a plug issue or something like that, an update. But those few times, because to the point of like cars always changing, right? Like sometimes there's a CAN bus that's just slightly different. It's just slightly different. And so what happens then is, some companies would just be like, oh, well, you're screwed, it doesn't work. But for us, it's like, okay, well, we got to get our hands on that truck, or we got to send someone out to that place. And, like our owner, we've got stories of our owner going to people's driveway and sitting in their driveway and helping figure things out. So just as a motto, that's probably the better word. I was thinking mantra, but that doesn't sound like the right word. But as
mantra.
A motto, mantra, we good enough is not good enough here at LinksWell.
Right.
Like we want to be the best.
Like I remember being in a conference call with the team, with the product development team, and the president comes up and says, "Hey, if there's any issues that we don't know of that come up and we can't resolve by settings, right, or replacement parts, can you please find out if that shop is willing to work with us? We will get our engineering team here and we will travel to that state and visit that dealer so he can get his customer there." And at one point we were like routing an entire, couple of weeks worth of trips
travels
to be able to go from one shop to another.
Yeah.
Just because, again, excuse me, he understands this. And I also understand this is nobody wants to be in a situation where I tell you, hey, John, this radio, it's $3,000 to put it into your car. And you go, and I sell you on it and you're excited about it. We go spend our 2-3 hours to put it in. Something's not working well. And now we're spending 2 hours having to find out what the problem is it just, nobody wants to be in that situation. And at the end of the day, yes, it is an electronics piece of equipment and it is technology and we do have to deal with that. But if the factory could do all that they could do to make sure that that doesn't happen more often than it does, then, I'm telling you, it's like, that's why we've been so well accepted in the industry because of all the efforts and everything that we put into making sure that those experiences are more positive than they are negative.
Yeah, 100%. And we just have a very different mentality than all the other, and we talk about this too, but the other brands that are making products like us that are hitting to the end user, for them, a return customer is not that big of a deal because most end users don't have multiple cars that are going to buy radios from you. But for us, we only sell to dealers, right? We're expecting you to buy 10 a year, right? Like we need a product that says when you have a guy with an F-150 or a Dodge Ram or a Jeep Wrangler that comes in and wants some kind of tech, you have the confidence to say, no, let me sell this, let me sell this, let me sell this. So our product has to create a desire for more of it. Otherwise, we go out of business, where a lot of the other brands, they don't care. So they'll use cheaper components. Their support is going to be subpar because, it just is going to be.
I mean, I would rather pay more for a product and have support than I would because at the end of the day, it's going to cost you regardless. It's going to cost you in labor, or it's going to cost you customer confidence. Something doesn't go right and the customer comes back. I mean, so I personally, I would rather pay and for something that I know, that my customer is going to be happy with. And you guys are getting better each generation.
Yes, we definitely are trying.
Yes.
I promise.
Yes, we are.
So there is within a development process, right? So we have different departments that have to monitor the different parts, right? So we have the firmware guys, we have the hardware guys, we have guys like Vic and I who are the actual installers, like the functional guys, we have the engineer guys, and then we have the guy that's keeping an eye on the cost of what it is to develop stuff. So like the tether that we keep like dancing between, like, I know that's going to cost X amount of dollars more, but it's going to be worth it, I promise you, because here's why. Or them saying, I know that might be a cool idea, but I don't think it's going to actually create what it's not going to make up the money that it's going to cost us to accomplish that. So there's just this constant, I feel like all of the teams have an equal voice, and we really just kind of wrestle through what's important. Our owner is like, he is a research guru, man. That guy finds things in the tech world that we're like, wait, that exists? So that XL knob, he has been pushing our guys to get that on-screen knob since the Mach EV was announced, not even available, but it was first announced, and they had that thing. He goes, guys, I want that. And they're like, shoot, that doesn't exist. He's like, I don't care, make it. I want that. We need that. And so just this cold development, it's been a really exciting thing for me. Like Vic and I being in the industry for a long time, part of the allure to come was that whole, I need your help in development because I want to make what people want. We're like, well, okay. So like I get input. Like I get to tell you like things that are cool and not cool. Like I'm down for that because I like to come up with cool stuff. So that's thank you for your kind words first off, and your vote of confidence and being faithful. I was going to ask you what it's like to have LinksWell there, but you kind of already shared all that. So thanks for beating me to the punch.
Yeah, and it does. I will say, like, for any other restylers that are listening and doing sales out there with their dealers, let your dealers know that it's available, because they're not going to sell a ton of these at the dealership level because of the price point, but they made to save a sale. If they're selling an older model version, like I talked about the F-150 earlier, and this customer is not going to buy that vehicle because they want the tech, they want the big screen, and your dealer knows that that's available, then you just saved them a sale. So I would just say, like, a lot of people would be afraid of like really pushing this product in a dealer because of the price, but they are open to it, and that's what I just try to educate them as much as I can so that they know what's out there. It's funny
you mentioned that. Sorry, and it's funny you mentioned that because you look at the Ford Sync system, the A-pin module is always failing, and it's very expensive to just replace that. And our radio comes in and doesn't need that to even function. So that's one thing. Now, the other one is you look at the Dodge Rams.
Yeah, with the screens delaminating. Yeah.
Right. And so ultimately, if the dealership either just sold the car, A-pin module went bad, customers back yelling at them because now the radio doesn't work, or the screen is delaminating, and they're stuck between, do we take this car back or do we figure out a solution for them? And they know that a Mopar piece or a Fomoco piece is going to be, I don't know, $3,000, $4,000 to satisfy this customer.
If you can get it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And them having, like you said, if these dealers know, like, hey, Crush Customs has got an upgrade radio for these vehicles.
It looks factory.
Yeah, and it works well, so let's do it.
Yeah. No, I do think there's a good market on all that upfitting side. Especially you had so many of the F-150s that came out with those little 4-inch screens and anything that's pre-CarPlay, like the Toyotas. Like that's a conversation Vic and I have all the time. We don't know why the Toyota radios don't sell like hotcakes, because Toyota didn't even offer CarPlay until 2000. So you have just all of these Toyota radios that are just so featureless, and they're just really are very low on the feature side of things with the factory radio. So we really assumed the Tacoma and the Tundra radios, and we even did a Highlander for a while, that they would actually hit the market well because of just how low the tech is, but they just haven't.
Yeah,
it's kind of mind blowing.
And when they did start offering CarPlay in the Tacomas 2020 to 23, that generation, they made you pay extra for it. So people go, when they're trying to replace a radio, they're like, you tell them, oh, this radio has got CarPlay, Android Auto, and they go, wait, I didn't pay the CarPlay function for my radio. Do I need to do that before this one works? Like that's the customer's question, right? That they have to pay extra for.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the Tacoma is a huge market, and that's one of the easiest ones to install. I mean,
really,
the radio cavity is huge. You don't have to fight the cables. It looks really nice. It's a 13-inch screen, nice high def. You get the touchscreen controls for AC, and you get the hard buttons on the side of the radio. It's a pretty good looking kit.
I would agree.
Okay.
The Toyota, our Tacoma radio is probably the best.
So the 16 to 23 Tacoma, that generation. It's a popular truck. I just don't think enough people know about
maybe.
it.
I don't know, man. It's a weird paradigm, but Yeah, we do. We have options out there for.
And you
for
need
all of
nothing extra. Nothing extra. The factory 360 works. The factory JBL, steering wheel controls, camera, manual or auto AC climate. I mean, you need nothing extra.
Everything.
Regardless of the, what are they? The TRD, the TRD Pro.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The SR5, the Limited. It doesn't matter. This one kit will fit all those trims within those years.
Yeah, without any extra stuff. So,
right.
But I don't know. Maybe this is the podcast.
I'm going to start pushing it. That's right. I'm going to start pushing it to my dealers for sure.
We've got some videos. We bought a Tacoma and we souped this Tacoma up.
Yeah, we did.
And it was gorgeous Tacoma. Took it to shows. Everybody loved it. And sales just continued to stay right here. So the owner was like, he was like, hey guys, let's just sell the Tacoma and buy a Ford. Because the Fords are selling.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, so we ended up selling it.
Well, I'm Christmas, sure. I'm sure I can find some Tacoma forums
Tacoma,
out there.
Yeah, Tacoma's the way to do it for sure, and the Tundras. But so are you able to walk us around your shop a bit?
Sure. All right, so welcome to Crush Customs.
There it is. Guys, this is what you see as soon as you walk in.
Love it.
Exactly. This is our waiting area, like I said, just enough for people to be comfortable.
Yeah.
This is our little window here. Crush Customs. That's Jen, you guys. Say hi.
Hi.
She's my girl Friday.
Nice.
She's more of an expert on your product than I am.
Nice.
That's Jen. She's the one out there pushing it. I tell you.
Thank you, Jen.
Is where they said thank you. Well, you're in my ear, so she can't hear you. But this is where we have consultations with customers, and we have all kinds of pattern books and leather swatches to choose from. And this is, we have a 10,000 square foot building. I'm not going to show you all of it, but these are offices. This is our custom interior department, where, obviously trim pieces. I think these are getting dyed, and lots of sewing machines and various upholstery components. Wow. I think that's a boat seat. Another room with sewing machines and
fabric,
headliner material and material. And then we'll go back to the shop. Well, we got a few things going on. More material. Jeez. Those are leather hides. A lot of times we'll park cars there to take pictures and stuff like that. It gives us kind of like
cool backdrop.
Here's where all the magic happens. And this is just one side. We have another side over there as well. But like this vehicle, for instance, this Camry, we're taking all of the gray and making it black and red.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So, even the carpet got replaced. So that's going to be done shockingly and probably by like tomorrow. So
nice. Wow.
Seats got done, everything. And this is what I love about car enthusiasts, right? It's a Camry.
Yeah.
But look how much love she's put into it. She wrapped it.
Yeah.
The little red, you know what I mean? Like people I love when people get excited about their cars, no matter what it is, if it's an everyday driver or what,
Yep.
So we have that. This one, Kia that we're putting, changing the leather seats in there from black to this like mahogany color. It's looking pretty good. Doing an interior in here. I think this Silverado, we may be doing some electronics on. I'm not positive, but yeah, I mean, that's guys, I just work here.
You just work here. I'm with it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the shop. On the other side, we've got some storage. We got some cars stored over there as well as just like space.
Okay.
But yeah.
I like how it's all indoor too.
Long and short of it.
Heck yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Indoor bays. Woo, that's
The
well, as long
best.
as it's climate controlled.
No, but even
It
in
is-
the even in the wintertime,
Yeah.
you
You
know, I mean, in
wanna-
the summertime, you can throw some fans and
Yeah,
open the
yeah.
bays.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. for
But the
sure.
problem sometimes it's in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've got a door there, but I'll show you our climate control. What our climate control looks like.
Hey,
There
is that
it
Ranger
is.
still there or it left already?
Oh yeah, let me. It's outside. Let me show you that. That's our climate
There
control,
it
guys.
is.
Heck yeah, them swamp coolers, baby.
Yep. They work, man.
$4,000.
Yep.
One of my guys almost cried when I bought it.
Yeah.
Let's
I
see.
bet.
Let me go out. Let's see. Here's the Ranger.
And this one just got done this morning, right?
Woo!
Bam.
Yep.
That's a good
Yep.
looking radio.
Just got done this morning.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Honestly,
I
I
need to
think
get
the
the
Ranger's a
keys,
pretty
so-
good looking dash kit too.
It really is.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
pretty good in there.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at what it looks like
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
and the fact that it cuts
No, it
all the
looks-
way down. You
it
don't
looks
lose the
really
hard
good.
buttons.
Yeah. And my son-in-law's got a Ford Ranger, so of course he's got the radio in it too. But
Yeah,
that's a
it
good
looks
looking-
great.
It's a good looking dash. It does. It
This
gives
guy
it
was
that,
really,
it
really excited
does
about
give a good
this,
factory look to it.
Happy
Yeah, love it.
that he'll be
Right
really
on.
happy.
Well, that is an impressive shop.
Thank you. I mean, it's
Yeah.
we're working. So work in
I mean, I
progress
like how-
always.
It's not just technology, right? It's I mean, you know, you look at car stereo. It's not just technology. It's aesthetics.
Yeah.
It's appearance.
All the bits and pieces.
Yeah, it's everything. You know, because
Yeah.
you've got fabric, wrap,
Yeah.
window tint,
Mhm.
everything
Yeah.
all in one. So it isn't just electronics. It's not just a tech shop. It's you know, it's a
Yeah.
like she called it, right? It's a not an
Restyler.
outfitter, but a restyler.
Restyler.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that is
right.
and shout
Restyling it
out
all.
to
I'd like that
Shout out-
actually.
shout out to SEMA Pro, which is a group of
Okay.
restylers, and anyone can join. It's amazing. Lots of resources for other restylers out there that are looking for support and community. Check out SEMA Pro. I'm a member. I served on the council for a couple years, and there's just a lot of resources there. So if anybody needs that or wants that, I mean, we all need that. Definitely check out SEMA Pro.
Yeah. SEMA's, it's funny, like you think SEMA's just a show, but like the SEMA does, oh man, they got all kinds of stuff going on, man. They're going to Congress and fighting bills and
Whenever people don't know what SEMA is, I say it's the NRA for what NRA does for guns. That's what we do for cars.
yeah. No, it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely
yeah.
true. Great show. But yeah, like
Yeah.
I think in like a week or something is SEMA Summit or something where they bring in cars and stuff and you can take cars apart early. Yeah, they do
That's
they
cool.
do a lot of really cool
That's
things there.
cool.
So
Yeah.
but right on. Well, thank you so much for calling
You're
in
so
with us.
welcome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have to look forward to doing some more since you're all social media out. Like we'll do some more social media stuff
Yeah.
together. Maybe some stuff at the shows or something if you cruise by there.
Yep.
But
Or
yeah,
if you
I
ever
will make
need
sure
to test a new product, send it out here and
I like
we'll shoot some content for you. But yeah, we're definitely, I had somebody here this morning shooting content of my installer while he was installing the LinksWell, as well as like
Nice.
before pictures and after.
Nice.
So yeah, because
Very
those
cool.
are the things that we have to do to promote these products. We
Yeah,
gotta
100%.
Yep.
let people know that they're out there.
They got to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see all
exactly.
the coolness of it. So,
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, we will definitely do some stuff in the future. I'll make
Sounds
sure
good.
all your information's up on the video so folks can check you out, click on your website, all your social
Thank
media
you.
links and whatnot, and they can get hooked up with you if they're out there in Georgia.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
I'm an Office guy. So as soon as you said Savannah, I just went to that episode of The Office when Michael Scott is like doing like a role play thing, and they were from Savannah. Yeah, I can't do the accent, but my brain went straight there. That's how ridiculous my brain is. But as soon as you said Savannah, that's my brain went. You are
Okay,
in
that's
Savannah,
funny.
but that's where my brain went. Anyways.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, so I told you when we pre-gamed here, it's a lot of squirrel holes in rabbit trails and Alice in Wonderland stuff happening on this podcast. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you again for calling in with us. We are giving away a 10-channel DSP amp, right?
That's right.
That's what our giveaway is. So make sure in the description that you click and you enter into that drawing. You can enter by subscribing to our podcast and YouTube. You can do it from following us, getting all of those things connected. But we'll give that away as soon as we hit 25,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. And we will, I promise, do our absolute best to be back here next week.
Yeah.
I promise we are. For those of you who are like beating down the door for the Chevy Silverado radio, I promise, guys, like we are very close and we are working hard.
Yeah.
That's why we missed last week, but that wing should hit, man. I hope we start shipping that thing by next week. But that's the news. That's what's happening. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching LinksWell Together podcast. That's episode 39 in the books, and we will see you next week.